Just had this nice little Stetson student interview me about my legal career, and I thought I would share my thoughts with you. Is law school worth it? Is being a lawyer worth it right now? It's expensive, folks, to get through law school. It took me like 14 years to pay off my student loans. Thankfully, I've been doing this for 32 years, so I'm on the other side of that. But we got to talk about the elephant in the room, okay? There is a big elephant in the room that will change your decision to be a law student and be a lawyer versus my decision, okay? Because I've been blessed with a wonderful legal career I'm grateful for. I bitch a lot about it. I'm working 6 days a week. The hours are grueling. It's a very, very stressful job. All that sort of thing aside, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I want this to be rainbows and kittens. I want to uplift you if I can, but there is something going on right now that was not going on in 1993 when I started this whole gig. When I went to school in 93, I got my master's in business administration. I was an accounting major before that, and I was probably going to go into tax and mergers and acquisitions and all that sort of thing. And then I got a job in 93 at the public defender's office. I love this criminal stuff, and I even watched the crime docs. I'm just into it, and here I am talking to you. The problem is what has happened since 93 is going to change everything, I think. And I'm talking about AI, of course. This is going to change the legal landscape of most attorneys out there. Your world is going to be rocked, and I could give you a million zillion examples of this, but let's talk about one that I heard recently, because some of my friends that I went to school with, they are M&A lawyers, merger and acquisition lawyers. They make more in a year than I make in a decade. I totally get that. God bless them. However, when you are purchasing and acquiring and merging these companies, it does take a boat ton of legal work, a boat ton of contracts. Now, I heard recently one gentleman that owned a big fund, and he decided to buy a large company, not a large company, but it was like maybe 8 figures. And he said that his legal bill was going to be millions of dollars, but he's into AI, right? And the guy he was buying the company from, they're into AI. So what did they do? While they were talking about the purchase, they both decided they were going to record all their conversations. They dumped all the conversations into their little AI system that already had merger and acquisition documents from the other companies he's acquired. This ain't his first rodeo acquiring a company. Out popped a pretty damn good intent letter. Out popped pretty damn accurate contracts. They then took those contracts to their lawyers to tweak, and they saved 90-something% on their legal fee. Look, folks, we're lawyers, we have feelings too. And a lot of feelings got hurt when this guy, who has spent millions in legal fees, tells his lawyers, hey, you know what? I'm going to acquire such and such here soon, and I'm going to need your help. And you know what they did? I can guess that they probably rented a boat and went and celebrated on the golf course or on a yacht. They went home to their wives and husbands and said, you know, we got a bonus coming up. They need to acquire this company, and we're gonna have bonus time, and it's gonna be sweet. What car do you want? What cars do you want? What vacation home do you want? I know how the wheels are turning. I know these people. And guess what happened? Nothing happened, because AI did almost all of it, and they were depressed, and they got the contracts handed to them. And they were like, yeah, these are pretty good. Okay, I guess we can't bill you. This is going to happen moving forward. For you law students that are going to go into some transactional field, I'm not saying it's over. I'm just saying there ain't going to be as much work as there is now. I will say this: if you have a passion for whatever you have a passion for, well, go acquire the debt, go to law school, have a good time. I get that. But the tides are turning against we lawyers. And look, I understand that there were 300 workers in that field, plowing that field back in the day. That first tractor showed up, all 300 of those workers were like, what's this gadget? This ain't gonna replace me. And then eventually, one person driving a tractor replaced hundreds and hundreds of field workers, okay? It happens. It's happening to us, folks. So think about what kind of law you wanna go into that a tractor is not gonna replace you. This AI is gonna replace a lot of us. Those are my 2 cents for you law students. I'm sorry that I didn't bring the positivity, but this is the world we live in, and just make note of it.